Hey guys, today we have the first war of season 47, and my team's going to be Absman, Mantis, and Hulk. This season, we're going to be pushing Tier 3 and lower wars, and Tier 2 wars, we're just going to be using revives only. This is a Tier 2 war here, so it's going to be revives only. And I'm going to be taking as many fights as my champs can take. So first up, we have an Adam Warlock, and I am boosting. I have a bunch of 30% boosts in my overflow, so I'm throwing a bunch of the 30%ers in. And I decided to play this a little bit riskily because I did figure the special 2 would kill him, and it did. It didn't crit, which I'm kind of lucky that did kill him, but gotta push through there. That Adam Warlock doesn't like throwing his specials sometimes, so I decided to just go for it. Next up, we have a Atuma here. I was going to bring Shuri for it. I just really didn't have a slot on my team for her. So I figured I'd throw a regen boost on with Hulk. Fully boosted. The Hulk's damage against Atuma's low health pool would take him down without me losing too much health, even with class disadvantage. So here I'm just going to be baiting specials and going wild. He did start with 3 concussions, which he must be max sig because I didn't even know he could start with 3 concussions. But overall, it's going pretty well. I get a little stand-up intercept on him, and I lose like 2% health. So that worked a lot better than I expected it to, but I am not going to complain about it going well. Next up, we're path 8 on section 1 and section 2, which is my typical path. My only path I've run in these high tier wars lately. So next up is a Wiccan, and I'm going to parry just to get that neutralize on me, and I'm going to avoid dexing. I'll just block his special 1 if he does throw it, and then you can outdistance the beam right there. And then go in with the stun lock, because Hulk's stun lock is a little bit ridiculous. So go in there, end that fight out, got my health back, which in itemless war is very nice to be able to get free regen like that. Here we have a Wong on this node. I don't see him on this node very often at all, mainly because he doesn't benefit from Rich Get Richer, and so it doesn't make that much sense to have him here. And he had suicides on, so it was an easy fight. I knew as soon as I went in here. I think he throws a special 1. I don't care that much. He'll die before I get to, or he gets his Eldritch energy filled up, so it doesn't matter that much if he throws his special 1. So he goes down. I kept all my health and go into boss islands with full health on all my champs. So it's looking pretty good so far. Next up, I'm going to take this. I was thinking about taking that Weapon X, but I don't really have a great counter for it. I could probably do it with Hulk, but I figured I'd let someone else go in there with maybe Warlock. Actually, I think Warlock is banned this season, so I'm not sure who I was letting go in there with who, but I'm going to take this Storm here, and I've never actually fought Storm on this node, and I wasn't really sure how it would work, and it didn't go nearly as well as I had thought. I need to remember that the earlier node, if you end with a power, I think, then they get a power gain at the start of the fight, which is really frustrating. Storm gets her special 2 there. Luckily, she didn't have enough prowess to be unblockable. But I'm getting the willpower healing. I also have my combat regen boost on still. So it's going well. Storm just glances everything though, so it takes a long time to do any fight with Storm. And power stings are going to make it kind of unfortunate to try and throw special attacks here. I was going to wait this out and then throw my special 2, but I think she ends up, she gets to another special 1. And so I did get power stung, but it was like 3% health, so it wasn't as much as I was expecting. That fight went pretty well. I'm going to take this Absorbing Man up here, and I love taking Absorbing Man on this fight with Hulk, even though he's not on here very often. It's just, Hulk just does so much damage that it doesn't matter that much with Absorbing Man's regen, especially since I run 3 out of 3 in Despair, so all Hulk's debuffs will keep him from healing anyways. He does go into his refined form, and I was not paying that much attention to my power being drained, but I do think right there is when I switched and decided to just go for the stun lock. So I should have probably waited a little bit until that form fell off so I could do more damage early on, but also it doesn't matter that much either because Hulk's stun lock is nearly infinite. Enough to deal with any champ in war. So go through and I finish it off with a nice little special too. Next up, I'm going to be taking the right side mini boss in Bishop, I believe, with Absman. Absman typically isn't a super good Bishop counter just because Bishop has super high energy resistance. I think he does at least. It seems like that Absman doesn't do very well in war, but I go in the Black Uru form. That way I'm immune to his shock and his bleed, and as long as I keep my form up, I'm not going to have to worry about anything. I did give him regens here, which I need to throw my special before those expire because I'm running 5 out of 5 MD. So I did end up getting it off, and I think I go for... No, I don't go for a heavy attack before throwing that special one. I think it's this one. And I'm not really sure how to play Absman, but I know throwing a special or a heavy attack into special 2 or special 2 or special 1 for that matter makes him do a lot more damage. So I try to do that when I can. Here he threw his special 1, which is not at all what I wanted. And I'm going to try and get a light intercept to pause my form here, but he's just not playing ball. Get smacked in the face, but I have insane resistance, so it doesn't do that much damage. And then as soon as that Incinerate mode fell off, I was able to get my special 1 up and refresh my form. I'm really not good with my light intercepts against, well, anyone with Absman. It feels like his light just has no range, so I cannot successfully intercept with light attacks with him somehow. But this is the only fight I brought Absman for, and as long as I can get through it, it doesn't really matter how much health I have left. So I know that if I had blocked that special 2, the first hit of it, it would have done a ton of damage because of the one that I blocked earlier in that fight. So I just tried to kill him off before he threw it, and I was successful that time. So next up, we have a Tech Falcon, and I have this man as a duped 7-star as well, and I feel bad for everybody who has him as a duped 7-star because he's trash. He's a little bit annoying on defense, though, because he auto-blocks your special attacks, which I had forgotten about before going into this fight. So I go in here thinking I'll just stun lock, and I wasn't sure if his lock-on was going to affect that. And then after a little bit, I was like, I can't land a special attack, so I'm going to parry him and throw it while he's parried. Or I'll just go special 3, actually. I thought I had played it a little bit differently. It's been a few days since I did this war. But I guess I'm just keeping the special 3 until my Furies fall off. That way I can get them back. He's gaining a lot of physical resistance and power gain from crossing bars of power with Aspect of Evolution. But my Furies fell off, so I did throw my special 3 there to get as many as I could back. And hopefully I can end this out pretty quickly after this. I accidentally pushed him to a special 2 there, not really meaning to. And here's when I went for it and forgot that he blocks. Or he auto blocks. And so I go and I am unsuccessful in getting to a bar of power. And I thought if I just turtled up there, he might throw a heavy attack. He did not. So I eat a big special 3, or eat a special 3. It's not a big special 3 because Tech Falcon does not have any big hits at all. But I took a little bit of damage, and I have that debuff on me now, giving me a little bit of willpower. But got through that fight. Now I'm going into this APOC fight, and I'm going to use Hulk. Hulk works for this fight like 80% of the time. 80% of the time it goes super great. 20% of the time you just die. So here the game plan is to get him to, or get myself into Wrath mode and then get his Purify, whatever that node is called, shrugged off. And right there I was able to. I'm kind of lucky I didn't get to my special 1 there, because, or special 2, because that would have ended me. But once you get into your Wrath mode, your physical vulnerabilities that are applied will constantly trigger the debuff purification node, and stun locking works as long as you pay attention to his timer and don't throw a special 1 when it's up. So get through that. It went very well. I was happy with that fight. And last off, we have a Photon boss, and there is no champ in the game that I love fighting more than Photon bosses with Mantis. It is a super easy fight, a super satisfying fight with huge special 2 numbers, and it would be very difficult to die against her. I could have thrown on a Power Start 1 to end it a little bit quicker. Could have thrown on an invulnerability boost to make that go a little bit better. But I'm going to save those boosts as much as I can for the wars where I don't have, or where we're actually pushing. So here, she's almost at 20, and 20 mixed emotions on her, and I'm not going to bother throwing my last light attack to put the Intimidate on her. I figure I can get her down, or get up to 20 mixed emotions just from her failing to apply debuffs, which I did. And at this point, the fight's pretty much over. This war, we did end up losing, I believe. It was, I'll throw the stats on the screen at the end, but overall, it's a good start for me this season. Go 10-0 in my first war, and it was a pretty clean war overall. So that will be it for this one, guys. I will get my next war up. I did actually record that one. It's tier 3. We did lose this war. So my next war, it's an actual potioning war, which was a lot more expensive than this war, but I'll see you in that one. Thanks, guys.